Hi, I'm the developer of Gratuitous Tank Battles, and this video is to explain to you how custom units work in the game. Now, to some extent, Gratuitous Tank Battles is a tower defense game, but it's a lot more than that, and one of the ways in which it is different to most tower defense games is that all of the units are actually custom designed. So this missile tank here is not a predefined unit in the game, it's just a unit that has been designed, and at the start of the game you have a certain number of units you can pick from, but the main thrust of the game is that you design these yourselves. So these are just kind of example units for you to play the first few games with, but in fact everything about all of these units, the weapons that are on this particular mech and the way it looks, all of that can be changed by the player, whether you're attacking or you're defending, so the turrets can also be changed as well. And I'm going to talk you through how to do that now. Okay, so from the main menu of the game there's a unit design screen which takes you here, and this is where you put together all of the tanks and all of the individual sort of turrets and the units that you want in the game. At the start you've got a certain number that you can edit and you can save out as different names, or you can create completely new ones. And basically every unit is made up of a hull, which is kind of the basis of the unit, and then a bunch of these sort of modules and sort of add-ons. So these are the hulls that I can select from at the moment. There's quite a few in here. When you first start the game, some of them are locked and you can't get to them, but they unlock really quickly, so you'll be able to sort of get quite a few of them quite quickly. So if I pick one of these, I was going to pick a medium mech that I happen to quite like, which is this one. You do have a sample of this mech in the game, but we're going to change it. So this is the basic hull, which is the kind of foundation of this unit, and we have to fill these slots here and optionally this slot over there with various components. Now they've each got different abilities and costs and weights and all the rest of it, but basically you get one of each. On the bigger units you get two of some things. So I'm going to go with, I think, shields rather than armor. So if I grab that, I can only put it in one slot, which is there. Now you can either drag things over here, or if there's an empty slot you can just double click them. If I double click that, which is the loading system, it'll put it in the relevant slot, which is just a bit quicker. And I'm going to need some engines, so I'm going to put that there, and I need a targeting system, and I'm going to pick that one. If I'm not sure which sort of thing to pick, if I click on any of these variables for one of the modules, it will show me how it compares to everything else in the game. So you know, I can see that that's a fairly light thing that I've added there. So what shall I go with? I think heavy pulse laser. So I can compare all this if I want to compare the range of a minimum, the minimum range of this. I can compare it against everything else. You can see the missiles have a really high minimum range. So once I've filled all this out, all of these values at the bottom are changing as I do that. If I swap things out, if I swap that, it will change down here to show how heavy the unit is, how expensive it is, and stuff like that. And over here these are augmentations, which kind of, they're modifiers for everything else that I've picked. And what I'm going to pick is I'm going to pick long range fire, which will basically make whatever weapon I've picked shoot further. So that's one side of it, because we're actually designing how this unit works. If I click customize, I can change how it looks. Now I've got 3 different variants of this mech, which basically the different different weapons. So if I put missiles on, I would probably have picked this just so it looks more missile-y. But I'm going to go with that because I think we picked beam weapons. And this thing at the bottom here, this is where you select individual layers and colour them. So if I pick the legs, I can make the legs black. You know, I could make the top bit that colour, and this. Oh, let's give it a bit of variety. And that's actually the head there that kind of rotates and scans separately. So I could set it however I wanted here. These are like predefined colours, but you know, you could go mad. You could have whatever colours you wanted. And what I quite like on units like this is they have a sort of interior colour. So if I set that a sort of light blue, and I'm going to set the rest of it to be pretty dark. Trouble is you can play about with this for hours. I'm going to set it like that. I think should we have that a bit lighter. Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down in all that. No, I do actually. Okay, that'll do. I'm going to stop now. Obviously, you can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to name it as Cliff's Cool Mac, and this description comes up as a tooltip. So you know, I'm just going to type nice colours, but normally you type something about, you know, this is your fast mech used to sort of do recon or whatever, so that it would kind of like jog your memory. So I'm going to save that out as Cliff's Cool Mech, and then we're going to use it in a battle. Okay, and here we are in another battle when I'm playing as the attacker, because it was a mech and you can't use mechs in defense. And I thought I'd pick a nice sort of nighttime, night vision-y kind of level, just because we've got that interior lighting. So here's all my units as before, and obviously I've got my new Cliff's Cool Mech here, so I can click that and put one of them down. And I really like the way that their lights show up at night. I know it's a little bit silly, but you know, there's my mech. And you can have loads. You can design as many of these units as you like, and you can set them into divisions, which is this thing here, where you can set up like different groups of units. I have got some set up, but not properly. Let's go back to all. So you can design, you know, 200 different mechs if you like, and have mechs that you use in certain circumstances, and swap between the divisions and you know, stuff like that. Hopefully it's pretty cool. I know it's just a bit of kind of like gratuitous eye candy stuff, but where would we be without that? And it really is a core part of the game. Some of the units down here, like a repair truck and command truck, ambulances and supply, they're a really core part of the game. And if you don't design custom units, you're not getting the most out of the game, and you'll also find it very hard, because you do really need stuff like supply trucks and ambulances and repair trucks, and to use all the other units, because you don't start off with any tanks that have flamethrowers or anything like that. So you know, you might want to investigate all of that. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful.